John Stoward would be the next one on the inside of Brandon Howe. David Pretty. And Greg Langton as they take the green one. Off and running and a big charge into the corner for the first time. Can everyone get around it? Yes, they can. Race leader is Gary Bonwick as they head down the back chute for the first time and around Pagel's corner. Underneath the canteen and one lap down on the journey, Gary Bonwick to the better of Robert Trapp. In behind him is Luke Wilkinson. Then we've got Peter Thompson. Next one would be the 13 car of Stephen Cook. The one coming right around the outside is Brandon Howe. That's the way they head around Pagel's corner and then up and under the control tower for the second time. Gary Bonwick is the race leader. Robert Trapp locked in a severe battle with Luke Wilkinson. Peter Thompson would be the next one, and then we've got Stephen Cook heading down the back chute and around Pagel's corner. It's still the same at the front of the field. Good drive, Gary Bonwick, down into the hairpin corner and around the hairpin, going in the opposite direction. Frightening. Accelerating down the back straight away. The Streeties around Pagel's corner they go. Gary Bonwick has got Robert Trapp right on his hammer now. Underneath him too, it's Luke Wilkinson who's driven underneath Robert Trapp. Trapp comes back on the inside around the hairpin. They go side by side towards Pagel's corner. They're both chasing Gary Bonwick. A little bit of push and shove between second and third. Watch out for the tyres. That's what they would be worried about rubbing. Peter Thompson would be the next one. Stephen Cook. They've dropped off Gordon Manolo and Brandon Howe as they head back underneath the canteen corner and under the control tower. The race leader, Gary Bonwick. Back to Luke Wilkinson, who's got himself up into position 2. Robert Trapp won't like too much of that. Wilkinson hangs the tail coming out of the hairpin, allowing Robert Trapp to drive around the outside and back into position 2. They're now chasing Gary Bonwick, who's got a good lead as far as street stock racing is concerned. Gary Bonwick, Robert Trapp, Luke Wilkinson, Peter Thompson would be the next one. Stephen Cook, Gordon Madolo and Brandon Howe. That's the way they'll go under the control tower once again, and Gary Bonwick starting to put some distance between himself and the rest of the pursuing field. Robert Trapp holds on in position number 2. Luke Wilkinson is still there in 3. Peter Thompson being challenged now on the inside by Stephen Cook. Next one there is Gordon Madolo. Brandon Howe. Madolo in trouble. Getting a little bit of a helping hand. Perhaps we'll bring on a yellow one. Wait and see what the stewards saw. This is the Mountain King title, brought to you by Coolum Beach Getaway Resort. We're going racing. Outside, look where that witch's hat is, folks. Green one off and racing, and nobody saw it. Race leader, Gary Bonwick into the hairpin corner from Trapp. Next one through would be Luke Wilkinson. To the better of Peter Thompson. Back then would be the 13 car of Stephen Cook, and behind him would be Gordon Madolo as they put another one down. So getting down through the laps, but they're very close at the front of the field. Gary Bonwick, Robert Trapp. Trappy gives him a little nudge, says I'm here. Back behind him, Luke Wilkinson. Peter Thompson in the mix as well. In there too is Stephen Cook as they throw it into the hairpin corner. Gordon Manolo. Next one is John Stoward, and then we've got Brandon Howe. Back behind them will be Greg Langton at the back. It's David Pretty, no change as they go under the tower once again. and our race leader down the main straight away. Full on the brakes into the hairpin corner. Gary Bonwick to the better. Robert Trapp is still chasing hard. Luke Wilkinson then Oster tail around Pagel's corner. Peter Thompson not too far away. They've dropped off Stephen Cook a little bit this time around. Then we go back to John Stoward as they head into the hairpin corner, around the hairpin, and then belted up the back straight away into Pagel's corner. It's still Gary Bonwick doing a good job out the front. Under the control tower he goes. Robert Trapp. Next one through there is Luke Wilkinson. Peter Thompson to the better of Stephen Cook, and these five have cleared out from John Stoward as they go round Pagel's corner. Gary Bonwick doesn't have any really big lead this time over Robert Trapp. Trapp right on his hammer as they arrive at the hairpin corner. Luke Wilkinson is now right on the boot lid of Robert Trapp. Peter Thompson in there as well. It could go anywhere yet. Stephen Cook trying desperately to stay in contact with these as Peter Thompson thinks of the outside one. It's not there as they go down the back straight. Gary Bonwick, he's going to have to start dealing with some lap traffic very shortly. Gary Bonwick under the tower. Robert Trapp, next one through is Luke Wilkinson. Peter Thompson's in there. Then we've got Stephen Cook, back then to John Stoward. Brandon Howe is there, and Gordon Madolo, and still out there is David Pretty and Greg Langton, and their lead cars are closing very quickly on these slower vehicles at the back. It's still Gary Bonwick, Robert Trapp, Luke Wilkinson. They couldn't get any closer. Round Pagel's corner and underneath the control tower, it's still Gary Bonwick. Robert Trapp is right in there. Here comes car 31, Luke Wilkinson, to have a little look. We got a yellow one. Gordon Madolo getting it all out of shape. And Gary Bonwick. Outside the witch's hat, guys, please go. We're racing. Everyone this time manages to get it correct as we head into the hairpin corner and down the back straight away. Robert Trapp is our race leader. Around Pagel's corner he goes to the better of Peter Thompson. Tucked in behind him is Stephen Cook. John Stoward would be the next one. In front of Gordon Madolo, David Pretty. That's the way they go under the tower one more time and head down back chute now. Robert Trapp opens up a little bit of a gap back to Peter Thompson. Stephen Cook in position number 3 and John Stoward under the control tower once again. Back behind them is Gordon Madolo, David Pretty. Brandon Howe having a little think about getting underneath David Pretty. The three at the back have been unable to make any sort of impression on the front of the field as under the tower once again goes Robert Trapp, Peter Thompson, Stephen Cook, John Stoward. Down on the inside, heading into the hairpin was Brandon Howe. Moves David Pretty out of the road. The next one is Luke Wilkinson. Under the control tower once again for our race leader, Robert Trapp, Peter Thompson. Car number 13 is Stephen Cook. That's the way they go round the hairpin corner. Head down the back straight away. Through Pagel's corner. And underneath the canteen. And another one down on the journey for Robert Trapp, Peter Thompson, Stephen Cook, John Stoward, Gordon Madolo. The one on a move is Brandon Howe in the 94 car as they go round the hairpin corner and head back to the front of the field where it's still Robert Trapp to the better of Peter Thompson in front of Stephen Cook. Those 3 have cleared away. Stoward, as we said, the one on a move is Brandon Howe. The Bundaberg car 94 has got himself up into position 5. Under the tower again for our leader. It's still Robert Trapp, Peter Thompson, Stephen Cook, John Stoward now about to come under some pressure from Brandon Howe as they go under the control tower once again. There's a big gap. Our race leaders have cleared out. Robert Trapp, Peter Thompson, Stephen Cook, John Stoward coming under some pressure from Brandon Howe. Howe right on his hammer as they go round Pagel's corner. Our lead cars go under the control tower once again. John Stoward's got his hands full to stay in front of Brandon Howe. Howe right on his hammer as they pull up around the hairpin back to Gordon Manolo. Then we go back to our race leader under the tower once again for Robert Trapp. To the better of Peter Thompson. Thompson back we go to Stephen Cook. And then there's a big gap back to John Stoward, who's just been moved out of the road. Boy, the man on a mission. Brandon Howe, don't know how many laps left. Can he get up and do battle with these front 3? Robert Trapp, Peter Thompson is a lot closer this time around. Round the hairpin corner, down the back chute for Robert Trapp. Round Pagel's corner he goes. The white flag is out. He's got one to go. Robert Trapp, Peter Thompson, Stephen Cook, Brandon Howe and John Stoward round the hairpin for the last time. He's got a couple of corners to negotiate. Round Pagel's corner, Robert Trapp down through what was the dipper and will take the checkered flag and a win. Robert Trapp, Peter Thompson, Stephen Cook, Brandon Howard, John Stoward, Gordon Mandolo. Next one home would have been Luke Wilkinson, David Pretty. Greg Langton completes the journey and Gary Bonwick, and I don't think we want to go anywhere near the 88 car, but folks, put your hands together. Street stock, great stuff. We will have a chat with Robert Trapp because we've got a holiday for him here in the middle. Put your hands together, folks, please. Street stock racing. Many thanks to Coolum Beach Getaway Report. Great race. Boy, the standard guys, 2 weeks' time, they got a Queensland title. But tonight, Robert has won the mountain and a holiday at Coolum Beach.